I'm Dawn. Welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how to make these lovely popsicles right here. This one's my favorite, the 3-color. You could also make this in red, white, and blue for you Americans out there. And then we have the pink one right here. I can't hold it by the stick because it cured before I had time to put the stick in there, so I hot glued it on. So I'll talk about that as well. But this one, the stick is sturdy in the bottom. And a lot of you seem to really like this project, so I thought I'd do this video first. I haven't been around for a while. I've been busy doing all kinds of things. First of all, I was making Easter crafts to sell. Those take a lot of time. Then I got into spring cleaning, like big time spring cleaning my home and the basement and everywhere. And that took a lot of time. And so, you know, I've just been busy doing other things. So, but I'm back. I'll be back with some videos. So for this project, you're going to need resin. This comes with 2 bottles, and you do 2 equal parts, and then you mix it together. So I already pre-mixed that, but we're going to need resin for this project. We are also going to need a mold right here. Popsicle mold has to be silicone, cannot be hard plastic. Will not work. Has to be silicone. So, and I got this from Timu. I don't know how you pronounce that. Anyway, I'll put the link in the description box for that cheap mold. And it looks pretty straightforward, but there's a few tips and tricks that you need to know before you do this project, unless you've already done it and you've learned the mistakes that I made. Maybe you didn't make mistakes, but I did. Yeah, so I did mistakes, okay? We're going to talk about this, and we're going to talk about the bumps in that, okay? Now, so here I have resin pre-mixed, 2 equal parts. And it just looks a little cloudy because it's cooler in the shed here. But if I was in the house, it would be crystal clear. And like I said, the 2 parts are already pre-mixed. You've got to mix it well, read all the directions, wear gloves, wear a mask. I'm just not for the video. But yeah, always read your instructions on the box. And it's been mixed for 3 minutes maybe already. You're also going to need craft paint. I'm going to make a green one, I think, today. And because the 3-layer, I can't do the 3-layer today, but I can explain how I made it pretty easy. Because each layer has to dry a fair amount before you do the next color, right? One color, you gotta let it dry so it doesn't seep into the next. Yeah, so we're making green today. I have bright green, sour apple, and a little bit of green, neon green, and a ton of white craft paint. You gotta put a lot of white into your paint to make it this certain color, because it darkens, your resin darkens your color. So you got to put a lot of white if you want it pastel-y, quite light. So for this one here, I use bubblegum pink with a lot of white. Here I use white with just a very tiny amount of yellow, and here I use basically the same green I'm using today for that. And like I said, for the 3-color, this one I particularly made, each color was completely dry because I made it like in 3 days, right? Each color was completely dry before I put the next color, but you don't have to wait that long. You can do it in 1 day. Just has to be, each color needs to be basically quite dry before you do the next color. Just keep that in mind. And when you do this one, you can just pour it. You don't have to do nothing to this mold special. You just pour it in there, right? And then obviously where this color isn't very far down, I cut the stick before I put it in because the stick was too long. It was hitting into the, you know, the hard white. So I did there. So, but where we're doing one solid color, there's a few tricks you have to do to get a nice shape of your popsicle. So what we're gonna do is that I also have a heat gun here too. You need that with your resin. I'm going to put a piece of foam we're going to put our resin into this cavity right here. So we're going to put a piece of foam in the one right behind it, okay? This is going to help because what the resin wants to do, it wants to pop out, right? When you do fill it all up, it wants to bulge out and you get this bulge, right? This bulge. A slight bulge, fine, you know, like the pink, it's just very slight. The 3-color one is perfect. Yeah, you don't want that bulgy look, right? This one's still, I'm not going to throw it out or anything. It's not a disaster, but, you know, want a little better than that. So then we're going to put a piece of foam right in here like that. And then we're also going to take some whatever item you want, and you're going to have to put it against it to keep its shape, right? To keep it from bulging out, okay? So that's the tip you need to know for that. I'll save you some resin because, and also it comes with this cover. Okay, I cut it. I cut it up in strips. It comes with a cover that covers the whole thing, right? It doesn't want to be covered right away, okay? It does not want to be covered right away. It's gonna bust out, okay? And I wasted all this resin. Yeah, wasted all this resin because it was too hot and it busted out, okay? So do not cover your resin with your sticks in this yet, okay? Because you are going to use this, but not right away. And I'll explain. But do not cover your resin right away because resin heats up, right? So, okay, so we're going to get into that. Now this is pre-mixed. We're going to add our craft paint, and you add just a very little amount to start off with because a little paint goes a long way when it comes to resin. And it depends. Now you can also make your popsicles a little bit see-through-ish, and you just put very, very little color. And you can buy the inks for resin that you can use as well. I just use craft paint. I do have some ink. I tried it once. There was a certain color. I really didn't like it. It was a red. It was like a pinky, come out a weird color. I didn't like it, but that's the only color I tried. So I have to try the other colors I have. So here we see it's quite a pretty pale, and I do like it, but I think I'm going to add just a tiny bit more. Now this is a great craft to do this time of year. These fake popsicles will look nice in your home or on a sign or on a wreath, you know. And like I said, the red, white, and blue. I know a lot of you guys will like that idea. And you know, I've seen popsicles on Etsy there as well. They are so cute that you can buy. And also I've seen some that you can frame, and I might do that. I'll show pictures on my Facebook page if I do make a little framed one. Okay, so I think that's mixed up good enough. You want to make sure that you mix up your craft paint really well. And I just use regular craft paint, as you can see. Yeah, I think that's going to be good. Okay, so we're going to move this all over here, and we're going to just pour it all in. And actually, before I pour it in, I am going to put the heat gun, because this doesn't like a lot of heat, and it cures really quickly because it's long and narrow. Okay, so add a little heat here. Remove the bubbles, and now we are going to pour it in here. And we're not going to add the stick right away as well. Oh. Just got enough resin in there. Pour it all in there. I could have probably put a little more resin. Maybe I'll add a little more after the video, but maybe not. You add the stick in there, it's going to raise it up a little bit. Make sure we get all of it in there. Resin is expensive. I'm going to look online, actually. I'm sure there's better deals. I really like this resin because, well, I can buy it locally and it's low odor. But I'm sure that Amazon has a low odor one. Let me know in the comments if you buy a low odor one. That would be awesome. Because it's $70 for this box. So yeah, I didn't like wasting all that resin on that pink popsicle. I was like, oh my gosh, not good. Okay, so now that we have that all poured into there, we're just going to quickly We don't want to heat this up a lot more than what it is. So we're just quickly going to get rid of the bubbles on the top there a little bit. Okay. So like I said, it cures a lot quicker in this long, narrow cavity. So you're not gonna want to wait too long before you add the stick. I don't really want to cover it up. Like I said, the experience with the pink one there. We don't want to cover it too quickly. We're gonna let it cure. So what I did, I waited, I don't know, I might wait an hour and check it out, because if you wait too long, you're gonna get this problem. You know what I'm saying? It's not going in. It's too hard. So you're going to put it in advance into this. I cut these in strips, and you just put that in there to the amount you want. And then in another hour or so, I'm going to insert it, and I probably should trim that so that that doesn't bulge out. I'll cut that, I'll fix that. So then what you're gonna do, we're gonna pretend that we're doing it. So we're gonna just stick it into the resin and fasten it like that and let it cure. And then you have your stick that's in there. So obviously we're going to do that later on. And like I said, this keeps everything nice and flat in there with the foam and this glass little vase thing. And there. So that's it. That's all the tips and tricks you need to know. But I thought it was really good for you to know this. If you haven't done this yet, it'll save you a little bit of heartache and resin. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like, share, and subscribe. I missed you all. And I will talk to you guys all later on. Bye-bye.